So useful Fourier transforms and properties. There are a lot of properties of Fourier transform. However, we will be covering some of the most important properties. Okay. So the first one is obviously the linearity property. Linearity property. Okay. So this is a quite useful property. Uh, it will help you find the Fourier transform for some of the signals like cos omega t, because cos omega t could be expressed in the form of e to the power j omega ct. You could use the Euler's formula and you could express it in forms of e to the power j. So that's why this property could be useful there. Okay, so let me tell you what is this property. So this property states here, if your x1 of t after your Fourier transform ft, okay, gives you capital X1 of omega. Okay, so x1 of t after Fourier transform is x1 of omega. Then wait, there is another one. If your x2 of t is there and after the Fourier transform it is your x2 of omega. Okay, then by virtue of this linearity property we can say that a1 x1 of t, okay, that plus a2 x2 of t. Okay, you could see that I have multiplied scalars and then I have added the two signals and then I am trying to find the Fourier transform. Then if you find the Fourier transform, then it will be equivalent to a1 capital X1 of omega, that plus a2 capital X2 of omega. Okay, so if you have two signals in this way, x1 of t having the Fourier transform capital X1 of omega, similarly x2 of t having the Fourier transform capital X2 of omega, then your a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t, if we take Fourier transform of that, it will be a1 capital X1 of omega plus a2 capital X2 of omega. So if you have a cos omega ct, cos omega t, and you want to find out the Fourier transform of it, then you could just disintegrate that one into e to the power j omega ct plus e to the power minus j omega ct by 2. So then if you know the Fourier transform of e to the power j omega ct and e to the power minus j omega ct, you could directly add their Fourier transforms and you could get the result. It is as simple as that. Okay, so this is the first property. Okay, I leave the proof to you. You could easily do it. Okay, you could find the Fourier transform of one function, then the other function, and then simply just add them. It's a very simple property. Okay, so now let us go to the second property, which is the duality, or it is also known as the symmetry property. Symmetry property. Okay, duality or symmetry property. So what does this state? Let's see. So if your x of t, a signal is there called x of t, and after the Fourier transform it is your x of omega, capital X of omega, then by virtue of this duality or symmetry property, if you try to find out the Fourier transform of capital X of t, see, capital X of t is nothing but the Fourier transform, that capital X of omega is the Fourier transform of x of t, as you could see. Then I have just replaced the omega by t and I am trying to find out the Fourier transform. Then the Fourier transform will be how much? 2 pi into small x of minus omega. So this is your duality or symmetry property. Okay, so let me give you an example how it will be applicable. So let's say we have a signal like this. Okay, we have a signal like this. Let's say this is your x of t. Okay, and let's say this is from minus tau by 2 to tau by 2. Okay, this is a signal and we have tried to find out the Fourier transform of this signal. So we found out that the Fourier transform seemed like this. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform, let's say. Okay, so this is your basically your capital X of omega. Now if somebody asks you to find the Fourier transform Just a minute. Somebody asks you to find the Fourier transform of this signal. Okay, just by interchanging that omega by t, somebody asks you to find the Fourier transform of this signal. Then how you will find it? Let me show you. So this is your signal. Let's say this is tau, and let's say this is minus 2 pi by tau, and this is your 2 pi by tau. Let's say this is the Fourier transform. Now somebody is asking you to find the Fourier transform of this signal, which is the Fourier transform of that x of t. Okay, then it could be written in this way. Then it will be how much? It will be 2 pi times, okay, 2 pi times x of how much? Minus omega. So whatever this signal is there, let me just show you in a different color. So whatever this signal is there, you have to just find the mirror image of it, the replica of it, and this will be from minus tau by 2 to again tau by 2. So in this way. So that means you could see if your signal x of t is there and its Fourier transform is capital X of omega, and you want to find out the Fourier transform of capital X of t, then it will be only 2 pi times x of minus omega. So x of minus omega, if you could remember the different manipulation of different kinds of signals that we have studied, x of minus omega is just the mirror image of x of omega, small x of omega. So here we have just interchanged the value, the variables, okay, omega and t. So in this case, that's why it is not the shape will be how much, like how much, how the shape will look like. It will be your x of minus t. It will be like the shape of x of minus t. Okay. So let us try to prove this particular property. Did you understood this property, or any doubt here? So let us try to prove this property. Okay. Let us prove the duality or symmetry property. So the general expression, you could note it down, the general expression for your inverse Fourier transform. Okay, inverse Fourier transform is how much? Could you tell me what is the general expression for inverse Fourier transform? Any one of you? Anyone? Anyone? Please. Srijani, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me the general expression for inverse Fourier transform? I think we have learned it in the previous class.
So, 1 by 2 pi,
Very good.
integration
Then,
from minus infinity to plus infinity,
right.
omega into e power j omega t d omega.
Very good. So we will be using the same formula here. So let me write it in this way. So F inverse your x of omega. Okay. Capital X of omega. So that is the inverse Fourier transform. So we will get how much x of t. And the formula is like this, as Sirjani said, 1 by 2 pi integral from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, capital X of omega e to the power j omega t d omega. So this is the normal formula for the inverse Fourier transform. Okay, so now let us try to do one thing. Let us replace that x of t by x of minus t. Okay, and let's see what changes happen in this in the both side of this equation. So if I write here x of minus t, okay, then the other side will be like this: 1 by 2 pi integral from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, then your capital X of omega, since there is no t here, there will be no changes in this portion. Then e to the power minus j omega t d omega. So you could see on the on that exponential signal, e to the power minus j omega t we have written because we have replaced that small t with minus small t. Okay, so we could write it in this way. Okay, so let us now bring that 2 pi, this 2 pi what is there, let us bring it to the other side. Okay, if we bring it to the other side, we could write it as 2 pi times your x of minus t, okay, which is equal to your integral from minus infinity to infinity, okay, then capital X of omega e to the power minus j omega t d omega. Okay, I have just brought that 2 pi to the other side. Now see, as you have seen in the property, what we were actually doing was we were interchanging the variables. Okay, initially it was capital X of omega. Then we tried to find out the Fourier transform of that. I mean, we replace that omega with t, and then we try to find the Fourier transform, and that's how the property works. Okay, so here also what we will be trying to do is we will be replacing that omega. Okay, so we will be interchanging basically the variables t and omega. So let us do that. So since they are just dummy variables, we could just interchange them. So since, let me write here the same thing, since omega is a dummy variable, okay, so interchanging the variables small t and omega, okay, so it will become your 2 pi times x of minus omega, okay, so omega has t has been replaced by omega, omega has been replaced by t, so this will be equal to integral from minus infinity to infinity, that x of omega will now become capital X of t e to the power minus j omega t. So omega was replaced by t was replaced by omega. So this portion remained the same. Then d omega will be now replaced with your dt. Okay. So as you could see, this portion on the right side, if you just look at it, this portion, this is just the Fourier transform of the signal, your capital X of t. Okay. So we could write it as this is equal to nothing but the Fourier transform of the signal capital X of t. So this way, this property is proved. That means your 2 pi times x of minus omega is equal to, okay, your Fourier transform of your x of t. Okay. So remember one thing, that if the function x of minus omega, like the function x of t is actually even, okay, that means, let's say for even function, we know that your let's say x of minus omega is there, so x of minus omega will be equal to x of omega if it is a even function. So that in such a case, your x of t after Fourier transform will be your 2 pi times, okay, x of omega. So if it is a even function, we will have x of minus omega is equal to x of omega, so it will remain like this. Now there is another thing. So since I have taken omega here, x of omega you could see here, I have taken omega here, that's why this 2 pi has was required to be present here. So if you write it in the terms of f, okay, then this property could be written like this: x of t after Fourier transform will be x of f. Okay, it could be written in this way. This for even function, and for odd functions it will be like this: x of t after Fourier transform will be x of minus f. Okay, this will be for odd. Okay, if I will be replacing that omega by f, then only these things will hold true, otherwise not. Okay, so this is the what kind of property? This is the duality or symmetry property of the Fourier transform. Okay, did you get it or any doubt here? Okay, so the question is like this: the Fourier transform of your f of e to the power Fourier transform of e to the minus t u of t, okay, is your 1 by Okay, 1 plus j 2 pi f. Okay, so what you have to find is, see, then the Fourier transform of your 1 by 1 plus j 2 pi t. So I have just replaced f by t. Okay, is how much? Just try to find it out and tell me. Yes, any answers? Try to find it out. Just use the property that was taught to you right now. Okay, so you could use this property that I have shown here. You could directly use this property. Let me just highlight it. You could use this property simply. So solve it. If any one of you gets an answer, let me know. Otherwise, I will be helping you solve this. You could see here that the Fourier transform of this signal, e to the minus t u of t, okay, was found to be this much, 1 plus j 2 pi f. So now it is asking us to find the Fourier transform for this signal. Only you could see that f has been replaced by small t, and then we have to find the Fourier transform. This could be done simply by using the duality or symmetry property. You have to understand the property. See this in this expression you could see that the solution is in the form of the Fourier transform is in the form of f and not in the form of omega. That is the first thing you should mark. Then you could use the property. So g of t after Fourier transform is how much? G of f. See, I have used here f in place of omega. So I will not use that 2 pi here. Okay, that is the only change I will do. So now if I try to find the Fourier transform of g of t, it will be how much? Small g of minus f. Got it? Small g of minus f. So that means what I will do, I will just replace, see, I will just replace the value, whatever the value of t is there, whatever t is there, I will replace that with minus f. Okay, so we know that the Fourier transform of e to the minus t, u of t, it is given in the question that it was your 1 by 1 plus j 2 pi f. Okay, so now what we have to find? We have to find the Fourier transform of 1 plus j 2 pi t. Okay, only t has been replaced. That means the Fourier transform will be how much? E to the power minus of minus f. And similarly, the other one will be u of t is there, na? So u of minus f. Okay, so that means this will be equal to how much? 1 by 1 plus j 2 pi t after the Fourier transform will be e to the power f, okay, u of minus f. So this is just the solution, as simple as this. Okay, so you could see what I did, where I replaced what, that thing you have to mark. You could see I have replaced this t and this t here by minus f. That is the only thing I did. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in this way you have to solve it. So now let us go to the next property of Fourier transform, which is nothing but the time shifting property. Okay, so try to do these questions. You could expect this kind of question in the exams. At that time, when you will have less time, like in section A, you may get this kind of questions. So at that time, try to use your brain and solve in this way. If you try to directly find out Fourier transform, it will take a long time. So if you use the properties, I think you will be able to solve it in a really short amount of time. So next is your time shifting property. Okay, time shifting property of Fourier transform. So let me just write the statement of this first, and then we will be going to its mathematical expressions. Okay, so it states, let me tell you. So it states that a shift in the time domain by an amount capital T, okay, is equivalent to multiplication by e to the power minus j omega capital T in the frequency domain. So let me write. So it states that a shift means time shift. So a shift in time domain by an amount capital T, okay, is equivalent to your multiplication by e to the power minus j omega capital T, okay, in the frequency domain, okay. So in this way, what we could say is, if we are shifting the signal, that means the signal magnitude remains the same, okay, but the phase actually changes, phase spectrum changes. So we could say that this means that magnitude, if you could remember the magnitude spectrum we were plotting, so magnitude spectrum, which is your capital X of omega mod, okay, so that remains unchanged. It remains unchanged. Okay, however, phase spectrum, which is your phi of omega, is changed. Okay, it is changed by how much? By minus omega t. Okay, so now that we have written the statement of this property, let us go to the mathematical expression. So mathematically, we could say that if x of t, a signal x of t is there, and its Fourier transform is capital X of omega, got it? Then if we are shifting the signal in the time domain, that is x of small t minus capital T. So you could see, I have just delayed the signal in the time domain. Okay, then it will be equivalent to, if we try to find out its Fourier transform, then it will be equivalent to x of omega multiplied with e to the power minus j omega t, in this way. Okay, so if you are time shifting a signal, then it is equivalent to multiplying e to the minus j omega t in the frequency domain. Got it? So let us prove this property. We have written this property, let us prove it. So proof. Okay, so the general expression for Fourier transform is the general expression for your Fourier transform is how much? Let me write it here. So x of omega is equal to nothing but Fourier transform of x of t. Okay, which is equal to, so Saurabh Kumar, could you tell me the Saurabh Kumar Singh, are you there? Tell me the formula for Fourier transform, general expression for Fourier transform. Yes, Saurabh Kumar Singh, please tell me. Saurabh Kumar Singh, please unmute yourself and tell me what is the expression, general expression for Fourier transform. So it is like this. It is from integral from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, your x of t multiplied with e to the power minus j omega t dt. So this is the general expression. Now let us shift the signal and try to find the Fourier transform. Okay, so try to understand that I am not changing the value of t here. Okay, I'm not replacing this small t. I'm not replacing this small t. I am just replacing this total signal x of t by a delayed version of this signal. So, and I am trying to find out the Fourier transform. So Fourier transform of x of small t minus capital T is equal to how much? integral from minus infinity to infinity. Now x of small t minus capital T, okay, multiplied with e to the minus j omega t dt. Got it? Why I have written like this? Or any doubts? So let us proceed further. So now let us do some substitution here. So let us take your small t minus capital T is equal to y. So that means your dt will be equal to dy. Okay, let us replace it and then we try to find out it. Okay, so we could say that hence Fourier transform of your x of small t minus capital T, okay, is equal to integral from minus infinity to infinity x of y. We have just substituted that small t minus capital T. So x of y e to the power minus j omega capital T plus y. Okay, so in this way we could write it, then dy. Okay, so now what I will do is that e to the power minus j omega capital T plus y is there, so I will try to separate them, okay, into two different terms. So that will be equal to your integral from minus infinity to infinity x of y, okay, e to the power minus j omega capital T will be one term, the other will be e to the minus j omega y, okay, dy. Now here you could see one thing, there is a peculiar thing, that this e to the power minus j omega capital T, this term is independent of y and it could come outside this integral. Okay, so that means we could write it as Fourier transform of x of small t minus capital T is equal to e to the power minus j omega capital T integral from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, then your x of y e to the power minus j omega y dy. Okay, so here you could note one more thing, that this expression is just the expression of a Fourier transform. You could see this expression, this is just the expression of Fourier transform. Only the variable t is the variable y is used in place of the variable t. Otherwise it is just the same equation for Fourier transform. So can we write it this way? Let me just write it, just see whether we could write it in this way or not. So it will be e to the j omega capital T, which was actually outside that integral, into your capital X of omega. Okay, so we could say that Fourier transform of your x of small t minus capital T, okay, is equal to x of capital X of omega multiplied with e to the power minus j omega capital T. Or we could also write it in this way, that x of small t minus capital T after the Fourier transform is x of omega e to the power minus j omega capital T. Okay, so this is the time shifting property of the Fourier transform. Got it? Or any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, no doubt, sir.
Okay. So the next property is the frequency shifting property, and frequency shifting property is just the dual of the time shifting property. That means it is just the opposite of it. Okay. So let us look at the statement first, and then we will go to the mathematical expression of this frequency shifting property. Okay. So frequency shifting property. Okay, let me write this statement first. So your frequency shifting property states that multiplication of a function x of t by e to the power j omega 0 t is equivalent to shifting its Fourier transform x of omega in the positive direction by an amount omega 0. Let me write it. So frequency shifting property states that the multiplication of a function x of t by your e to the power j omega 0 t is equivalent to shifting its Fourier transform ft in short x of omega in the positive direction by an amount omega 0. Okay, so we could also say that the spectrum of x of omega is translated by an amount omega 0. This means the spectrum capital X of omega is translated by an amount omega 0. Okay, so mathematically, let us see what it means mathematically. So mathematically, we could write it like this, that if your x of t, okay, after Fourier transform is capital X of omega, okay, then x of t multiplied with your e to the power j omega 0 t. Okay, then if we try to find out the Fourier transform, then it will be equivalent to x of omega minus omega 0. Okay, so if we have a signal like this, let's say this is your x of t, this signal is your, let's say, x of t, and we have tried to find out its Fourier transform, and the Fourier transform is like this. This is, let's say, 0, okay, and this is your omega. So what happens if you try to find out the if you try to multiply this signal into a j omega 0 t with this signal, okay, and then you try to find out the Fourier transform, what will happen? The spectrum was initially at this position, as you could see in this diagram. So it will be now shifted to this direction by how much? By omega 0. This is what happens when you multiply it by j omega 0 t with this signal x of t. So to whatever signal you multiply that e to a j omega 0 t, the spectrum will shift towards the right. So do you think there is any significance in shifting the signal towards the right in the frequency domain? Frequency signal, the voice that we generate, that is an example of a low frequency signal. So the frequency is, I think, around 20, the audible range of frequency is from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So 20 kilohertz in the language of electronics is actually a really low frequency. So if you try to transmit this 20 kilohertz signal to the wireless medium, it can hardly reach few kilometers. If you use a loudspeaker, maybe it will reach 1 or 2 kilometers. That would depend on the noise that will be present in the medium and a lot of other parameters. Now, if you multiply e to the power j omega 0 t with this signal, and let's say this omega 0 is a very large value, it is, let's say, 20 megahertz. This omega 0 is, let's say, 2 pi into 20 megahertz, which is a very really large value. So what will happen, this frequency, the signal's frequency will be shifted towards the right by 20 megahertz. Try to understand this. So initially, let's say this signal was like this 0, and this was your 20 kilohertz. Okay, so this signal will be now shifted to this position where it is 20 kilohertz, 20 megahertz. Okay, the benefit will be that if you simply use an antenna, it could be transmitted to a longer distance. Got it? That is the benefit. As we will be studying in the modulation, when we will be studying the modulation, analog modulation, there you will find what is the benefit of increasing the frequency. Unless you increase the frequency, it is quite difficult to transmit a signal wirelessly. So it is this property of Fourier transform, this frequency shifting property of Fourier transform, that the modulations that have enabled the rapid rise of wireless communication have become possible actually. When Fourier came up with this Fourier transform, maybe he would never have been sure that it could be used in this way. Okay, so what we are essentially doing is, see, it is really difficult to generate this exponential signal. So that's why what we normally do is we multiply cos omega 0 t or sin omega 0 t, because eventually they are actually made from this e to the power j omega 0 t, because by using the Euler's formula you could write it as e to the j omega 0 t, e to the j omega 0 t plus e to the power minus j omega 0 t by 2. That means this cosine wave is actually made from these signals. So when you are multiplying this signal to any signal, this cos omega 0 t, then it is shifting that signal towards the right as well as left, because here you could see there are two signs, okay, in that j omega 0 t. So once it is positive, once it is negative. So it is shifting it in both sides. So, and this is because of this property that we are able to modulate this signal. Okay, you could understand the significance of this particular property. Okay, got it? So let us now try to prove this property. Okay, the proof is actually quite simple. Let us do it. So we know that your capital X of omega is equal to Fourier transform of your x of t, which is equal to integral from minus infinity to infinity your x of t e to the minus j omega t dt. So this is the normal formula. Okay, so let us now multiply e to the power j omega 0 t with this signal. Okay, so that means Fourier transform of e to the power j omega 0 t x of t, okay, is equal to integral from minus infinity to infinity, then e to the power j omega 0 t x of t, then that is multiplied with e to the minus j omega t dt. Okay, got it? So that is equal to, see, these bases are same, the base of these terms are same, e and e, so we could combine them into a single base, a to the power m multiplied with a to the power n is equal to m, a to the power m plus n. So that we could use here. So this will become integral from minus infinity to infinity. Your x of t will be as it is, e to the power minus j, okay, omega minus omega 0 t dt. Okay, so in place of omega we could see there is a term omega minus omega 0. However, the formula is same, so we could write it as capital X of omega minus omega 0. Okay, so in this way we could prove this particular property. So we could say that your e to the power j omega 0 t x of t after the Fourier transform is nothing but capital X of omega minus omega 0. Okay, so this is the frequency shifting property of the Fourier transform.